Hello and welcome to the Ellen Made Book Club and my end of year TBR, I guess. I'm gonna try to do this a bit rapid fire and not get into the synopsis of these books because I feel like I've talked about them on my channel enough already. I will have everything listed in the description, so if you're curious about any of them, you can look it up yourself. But I do have a list of books that I want to read before the end of the year. Some of them are to complete either one of the reading challenges that I am doing this year, and others are for reading events, and others are just because I want to read them. I might not get to all of them, but I just wanted to do like a little check-in kind of video and just go through the books that I have left to read this year if I am going to complete everything that I have set myself to do. All in good fun, nothing too serious, but here we go. The first book I'm actually almost done with as I'm filming this. I just have a little bit left to go. This is The Book of Guilt by Catherine Chidgey, and like spoiler, I have been loving this so far and I am so intrigued to read the last bit of this, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it right now. But when I finish this, I will have finished my Really Good challenge, so I'm very excited about that as well. This one is for the prompt for the December, which is Decembros, which is to read a book about brothers, and this is about 3 triplets. I think that's the only prompt that it fulfills, but it has scratched my brain in a very good way, so I'm happy about that as well. The next book that I need to finish is Women Talking by Miriam Taves. This one is the last book I think that I have to read for the Savage prompts this year, for the prompt to read a book with sound in the title, which is a very annoying prompt. I have struggled a lot to find a book that I want to read that has a sound in the title, and I don't want it to be just like something that makes a sound. I want it to be something that you can actually say, like, you know, can you hear that? What is that? Oh, it's women talking. That's a sound, right? That's something that you can hear, like a bell ringing. I don't want the bell jar. I want to read something with the word ring in it, like the ringing. And so women talking is something that you can hear. It's a noise, it's a sound, and so I think that counts. Please tell me if you agree or disagree. I need validation. This one is also on my list of 25 books to read in 2025, so that would also cross that off my list, or like cross it off that list. I don't know. This is one that I want to read this year. For the Buzzword Title Challenge, I only have 2 left. One is to read a book with an event in the title, and so that can be any kind of like time-defined thing. So the books that I have as options for that right now, it's you know, I've changed it a bunch of times. The ones that I have as options right now are A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck, because, you know, a short stay in hell would be a time-specific event. So I think that counts. And the other option is The Night Shift by Nancy Peach, which is a romance, a Christmas romance. So very different vibes. But I think either of them will work. And yeah, I also have this A Short Stay in Hell as an option for the Buzzword Cover Challenge, which is to read a book with books on the cover, because it's a library and all of the little things are books. So that's an option for that as well. And I don't want to double up on the different challenges. Like, I don't want to use one book for both of them. It's stupid, but that's my little rule. So another option for books on the cover is Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite, and I really hope to get to this one, and I really think that I will read it because it's so short. This is also on my end of year TBR. On the Buzzword Title Challenge, I also have left to read a book with the word never in the title, and I had They Never Learn by Lane Fargo as an option for that, and also Everything We Never Said by Sloane Harlow, which is a YA thriller that I'm still interested to read. They Never Learn, I have heard good things about, but I'm just, it seems a bit heavy for me right now, but I don't know. But the one that I am mostly hoping to read is Never the Wind by Francesco Dimitri, because it sounds really good, and it sounds really good. And this would also be a good option for Neurovember, which is a reading event by Kat at Curious Cat, which has to do with neurodiversity first and foremost, but also like the brain and perception and sensory experiences, and that's what this would work for. And then for the buzzword cover challenge, I also have left to read a book with an animal on the cover. And since I read Bunny for the title challenge, to read a book with an animal in the title, I figured it would only be appropriate to read We Love You Bunny for the prompt to read a book with an animal on the cover. And they're both by Mona Awad. This is the sequel, and yeah, I'm scared to read this because I just haven't heard the best of things, but I'm really looking forward to it, and so we'll see. And then the last prompt on the buzzword cover challenge is to read a book with food or drink on the cover, and I have struggled so much with this one as well. The Night Shift by Nancy Peach would fit for this prompt because it has those little coffee cups on the cover, but if I use it for the event on buzzword title challenge, I don't want to use it on this because I'm stupid like that. And so then another option is The Things We Do to Our Friends by Heather Darwent, which I have been wanting to read for the longest time, but it's just a little bit chunky and I don't know, it doesn't really fit for anything else, so this one keeps being pushed off, but I really want to read it, and it has a big apple on the cover, so this would fit for food on the cover. It would also work for animal on the cover, but I want the bunnies. I don't know. Okay, so those are those challenges. And then I have the Classic 6 by Sui, which is to read 6 classics over the course of the year, and I have read 1 so far. And I have a couple on my list of 25 books to read in 2025 as well. The Wall and The Last Unicorn, and so either of those I might read, but I'm not super keen to get to them right now. The Wall, I am hesitant to pick up right now because I read The Man Who Lived Underground by Richard Wright, and it's just kind of similar story, and I can only take so much of one character trying to survive. And The Last Unicorn I might be really interested in December as like a cozy read with like some Christmas music in the background. Like it's cold and cozy, and reading The Last Unicorn, I think that sounds fantastic. So we'll see. I might get to that one. Where am I in this? I also have the Climathon 2025 that I am participating in, and I haven't read a lot of books. I think I read 4 books so far for that challenge, but they cross off a bunch of different prompts and they overlap, and it's just, they're all, everything is always related. But the one book that I really want to read for that event or that challenge is The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer, which is a shorter nonfiction book about animals and nature and the services that they do for each other, and I think that sounds great. And that book would also work for my diversity book bingo. It's an Indigenous author, and I could put it for prize winner, I think, because I think that the author has won prizes before. We're on to the diversity book bingo now, I guess, as well. And for that, I would also want to read White Cat, Black Dog by Kelly Link. Just finished this short story collection. I'm about halfway through, and I just feel like this should be done already. And I could use this for a short story collection. And the prompt is just to read a short story or a short story collection, so I could already count this. But I want to finish this. This is also on my 25 in 2025 list, so it would just be nice to finish this finally. I have other options. I think that either of these could work. Murder by Memory or A Short Stay in Hell could work for a short story because they're both very short. And then I have a genre out of my comfort zone, which could be plenty of different things. I could use A Short Stay in Hell for that because it's horror and it seems like a challenge, and this would be out of my comfort zone. I could also use The Night Shift by Nancy Peach for this prompt because I don't read romance. So this would be out of my comfort zone. And then the final prompt that I have left on my diversity book bingo is to read a recommended book. And this could be a book that was recommended to you by a specific person, like a personal recommendation, or a book that was recommended on something you saw on social media. You saw a booktuber talk about it, or on Instagram or whatever. Or it could be a book that was longlisted for a prize and it's just like, you know, award blah 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 critically acclaimed kind of book. And for that I have 2 options because They are both from Australian authors, and I need another point for my Australia continent. So one of them is Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood. This one was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2024, so I would say that's a pretty strong recommendation. This is also on my 25 in 25 list, so I really want to read this. And this could also be an option for the sound in the title prompt, because a devotional is something that you can say and that you can hear. So I figured that could be a sound. Let me know what you think of that. My other option for recommended is Every Version of You by Grace Chan. This was longlisted for the Stella Prize. And yeah, this is also an Australian author and will also qualify for minority. Another book that I really want to get to this year, which would also fit with the Neurovember event, is Uncharmed by Lucy Wood. I just think that would be a very cozy read, and I could use some cozy reads, even though they're not the most intriguing to me, and it's not what I'm typically drawn to. But when I do read it, I kind of enjoy it, and I think it's good for me. So, and also I'm very curious to see what that story is about, because I really liked Rewitched last year. I'm trying to talk so fast, I don't know. And then apart from the ones that I've already mentioned, I have a couple more books left on my list of 25 books to read in 2025. One of them is The Darlings of the Asylum by Nola Riley. This is historical thriller, and yeah, it's one that I have been very intrigued to read for a very long time, and it feels like the season, and I just want to read it. This is on my end of year TBR, as well as The Garden by Nick Newman, which I've also mentioned so many times, I feel like. And it almost made it onto my October TBR, but not quite. And it doesn't fit with Neurovember, I don't think. So I don't know. I'm going to have to get to this in December, I guess. But I'm very keen to get to this one. And it's on my list of 25 books to read this year. So I just have to. The Wall, I think I mentioned earlier, is also on my list. But I'm not really sure if I'm going to read this year. Just, I don't know. The same goes for Hours. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? The same goes for Hours by Philip E. Williams. I would like to read this year, but I don't think I'm gonna. And I don't want to put that pressure on myself. It's so big, and I don't know. I won't be mad at myself if I don't read it this year. I really would like to, but like there's so many other books that I want to read, and so we'll see. And then the final one, I think, for that list is Boy Parts by Eliza Clark, which I'm really keen to get to, and I've been wanting to read for a long time, so I hope I manage to get to that. I don't own that one, so I would have to get it from the library, so we'll see how that goes. I would also really like to get to Reservoir Bitches by Dalia de la Cerda, which is a short story collection, so I could also use this on my diversity book bingo and get a, South America point. Or maybe it's Mexico, so maybe that's North America, but it's still, Latinx representation, so I think that would be fun. I would also really like to get to A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher, and this doesn't qualify for any of the prompts, I don't think. I could use it for Out of My Comfort Zone on the diversity book bingo, because it is like a horror novel, fantasy horror. I haven't gotten to it in October so far, and it doesn't really fit for Neurovember either, so we'll see. But I don't know how I'm gonna get to all of these. And then the final one is The Night of Baba Yaga by Akira Otani, which I just think sounds like a fun time, and I've been wanting to read a book that reminds me of Kill Bill. This one I think does, so that would be really fun. And I also think it's like a quick read. The text in this is just like, it just looks so easy to read. It's like the spacing of the lines is like double. This could also qualify for food or drink on the cover because it has this vending machine. So that could also be an option for the buzzword challenge. So I guess this is the stack that I am planning to work my way through in the coming 2 months, which is completely delusional. And I also have audiobooks. So it's a really good looking stack, I think. I think I'm gonna love most of these, and I'm really excited to read them all, and that was really heavy. I don't have to read all of the books to fulfill all of the prompts, but yeah, I would love to get to all of them. I know that's not realistic, but that's my delusional hope, and we'll see which ones I end up reading. Let me know if you have any books that you are hoping to read before the end of the year, or how many. I'm sure I'm not the only one to have an overly ambitious list. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.